Hello and welcome to QUOE Tips. My name is QUELIN. I am the creator behind everything QUOE, and QUOE Tips is a series where I take fiber arts, tips, and tricks and share them with you guys in hopes that you can break the status when it comes to your craft. Today I'm going over how to felt knit fabric, and this is going to be the same exact process that you would use to felt crochet fabric as well. Specifically today we're focusing on how to felt while maintaining the integrity of the right side of the fabric, so you want to still see the stitches well defined. It helps especially with color working projects, and I cannot wait to share that with you. Before I start though, I want to say thank you to today's video sponsor, Clover Needlecraft, who has provided me with all the tools necessary for this project. A link will be in the description below where you can pick up all of those tools, as well as a link to the blog post that is related to this project. With all that being said, let's jump into the tutorial. So in terms of tools, I am using the Clover 5-pronged needle felter. This is just a great one for bigger sized projects. You don't need anything more detailed for the detail-oriented felting work. The 5-pronged is the best bet for you. They also make a 3-pronged pin tool, so that is also another option that you could do. If you are just beginning felting, I definitely recommend you get refill packs. You're going to need them, I promise you. So this one is specifically the 5-piece, so if you break every single one of these needles on your project, you'll have enough to completely refill it. After that, you're also going to need the large size needle felting mat. I cannot recommend the larger size enough. You can do a lot of detail felting work on the smaller one, but you can do the exact same detail felting work on the larger one, as well as the larger scale felting work. So this is going to be the best bet for you. And in terms of yarn, let's talk about what we want to use for our projects. 100% of the time you're going to need to use yarn that is protein based, so animal fibers. I'm using today Berkshire, the Valley Yarns Berkshire line, or Berkshire. It is 85% wool and 15% alpaca, so that's 100% animal fibers. I would say no less than 80% animal fibers, probably more if you can get it. Definitely don't want to be felting with an acrylic or like a nylon or plant-based, like a cellulose fiber. That's not going to felt. It's just going to look gross. So definitely get an animal-based fiber. So this is what I have knit my swatch out of today. And again, like I said, this is completely transferable to crochet fabric as well. So now that we have everything, we are ready to start felting. So I've just finished knitting. This is actually the swatch of my Azulejo de Talavera Bandanna pattern that I've just released. The link is in the description below. But this is what the swatch looks like. I wanted to show you what the swatch would look like already felted. So this is the same exact pattern. This is actually using Barocco Ultra Alpaca, which is about an 85% alpaca, I believe, and the rest is acrylic. I could be wrong about that, but it's definitely more than 80% a animal fiber. So you'll see that the knit stitches in the front remain, they still have their integrity. You can still clearly see the V's of the knit stitches. But if we turn the work, you can't really see any patterning on the back. So the felting that I'm going over today is specifically going to help whenever you're doing projects that have color work or that kind of thing, or projects that you want to see the knitting stitches on the front while still having the textures and benefit of a felted project. So this is not the same gauge, but for felting your work will shrink a bit, so you want to keep that in mind as well. In terms of what this particular yarn looks felted up, here's an example right here. So you can see the knit stitches at the front, because this is a bigger yarn, like an Aran weight yarn, are very visible. And then on the back, you see that they are felted. And this is actually a spider elbow patch that is going to be a project on my YouTube page in the very near future for October, so look forward to that. This is going to be going over how to do intarsia. So now we are ready to finally felt. So if you'll notice, I have not woven in my ends. There's not that many, but I still haven't done them. That is because whenever I'm felting, I don't like to weave in ends in general, so I will just felt the ends in so I don't have to weave them in and then felt over them. So I'm going to place my piece of fabric onto the mat. I'm going to zoom in so you can see these details. Okay. I'm going to take my needle felting tool. I like turning it sideways. And unlock it. It's important that you lock your tool as well whenever you are not working with it so you don't stab yourself, because it hurts, I promise you. So make sure you lock it. So I'm going to unlock it right now, and it is ready to go. And how we're going to use this is we are going to place it on top of the fabric and the mat, and you're going to try to also work as much in the middle of the fabric as you can, of the mat as you can. The closer you get to the edge, the more likely it is that your needle felting tool will slip, and that can lead to stabbing yourself and hurting, or breaking your needles. And you also want to maintain, if you'll look on the side view, my needle felting tool is completely perpendicular to the mat. So you don't want your needle felting tool to go sideways. That's going to lead to breakage of the needles. You want to have it completely perpendicular. So I'm going to place it onto the mat and then just push down and pull up. And we're going to do that a lot of times. And that's all you need to do for the felting. So I'm just bringing the needle felting tool up above the work and then pushing it down. And we're going to start from one corner and work our way to the opposite corner and then go down in rows. That's how I like to work. I think it works the best that way. And also you can see what the needle felting tool looks like from the side as well. So if you'll notice, this plastic part, the sheath, is getting pushed down every time that I go down onto the fabric, so that the needles are coming out and we don't get stuck by them. And also be sure to keep your needle felting tool completely perpendicular to the mat. So this is a slow going process. It's very meditative. I really love needle felting. And you'll notice that I'm not going and flipping the work like we would in a traditional needle felting project with wool roving and that sort of thing. I'm only going to be felting from the right side of the work because I want to keep the integrity of these knit stitches. So that's going to make the right side of the work look like a normal knit fabric, and it's going to give the wrong side of the work the actual felted properties and completely make the work stiff and usable for different projects. Okay, so I've just done this little section right here. So we're going to actually pull the fiber off of the mat, flip it around, and see what we're working with right now. So you will see that the ends are completely felted in already in the section that we've done. You'll also see that the wrong side of the fabric is fuzzy, and we want to keep that fuzzy only on the wrong side of the project. We don't want any of that to be on the front. We want to maintain the integrity of the knit stitches. That's the exact same principle as crochet. you only do the felting on the wrong side of the fabric. So you don't want any of that fuzz to come to the front unless that's what you're going for. It's especially important to not have that fuzz at the back of the work whenever you are doing anything with color work, because the more fuzz that there is towards the front, the harder it is going to be to distinguish the color work. And this is applicable to a lot of varieties of projects. Doing felted bags, doing elbow patches like this one that I'm going to be showing y'all how to do very soon. But there's a lot of different things. I'm actually going to be putting this one onto a project bag to just add interest. And that is exactly how to do it. It's a really simple project, and I hope to see yours soon. So that is how to needle felt knit fabric. Until I see you next time, guys, break the status.